Hi everyone, I'm Josh and I work for the Defence Infrastructure Organisation, or DIO for short. I joined DIO in September of last year and I'm a fast streamer, which is sort of like the civil services graduate programme which fast tracks graduate students into challenging, fast-paced roles in government departments. So when I first joined Defence, I didn't have a great idea of the sort of stuff that went on within the Ministry of Defence. We always sort of have an idea of the defence just sort of being like the military, so tanks, soldiers, fighter jets and so on. But there's actually so much more behind the scenes that you don't think of that's really vital to making sure that we keep us safe. DIO and the thousands of talented people who work within it do loads of stuff behind the scenes to make what defence does possible. So we maintain and build different assets like ports, hangars, bases all around the world. We also do things to maintain the biggest training estate in Europe. This allows our defence personnel to safely live, work, train, deploy and get ready for active service. So there's a lot of stuff that DIO does behind the scenes that you might not expect. So we have to keep all of our service personnel fed, which is a massive task and one that we don't really think about all that much. We also have to maintain more than 60,000 homes for service personnel and their families. Again, these are really important things to make sure our defence and military functions properly. We also have loads of other fields working within DIO, so we have archaeologists, ecologists. We just have such a massive estate. It's about 2% of the UK land area. We also have parts of our estate overseas, so all across the globe. So you can just imagine how many different specialties are involved in maintaining and upgrading and constantly improving our defence estate. So today we're going to show you some of the interesting work that goes on with DIO in some of our different STEM fields.
My name is David Salmon, Director of Strategic Programmes in the Defence Infrastructure Organisation, and I think I've got just about the best job in the Ministry of Defence. And that's because the Defence Infrastructure Organisation delivers an unbelievably wide range of major infrastructure programmes and projects for our armed forces customers. In the last 5 years, we've dredged Portsmouth Harbour, making it deeper. We've delivered new jetties for our Queen Elizabeth class aircraft carriers. We've delivered new aircraft hangars and runways for our F-35 fast jets at RAF Marham. And we've built new barracks and homes to help bring the army back from Germany. In the next 5 years, we've got big missions to deliver, like providing infrastructure on the Clyde for our new dreadnought submarines, rebuilding the defence estate in Cyprus to make it more resistant to earthquakes, and modernising the UK defence estate, making it smaller, more sustainable and more resilient to climate change. Your future may be looking beyond this, going deeper into space and cyber defence. We don't yet know what the infrastructure answer is to space and cyber missions, but we need young scientists and engineers to help us do that. We can predict this infrastructure will need a wide range of science, technical and engineering skills. And if you like taking on unbounded challenges, this could be your problem to solve. So why don't you come and join us? Thank you.
Hi, I'm James and I work in the data exploitation team at the Defence Infrastructure Organisation. My role is to provide excellent analysis by exploiting asset information, helping our customers to make better data-driven decisions to support Defence's wider ambition to have a modern estate that's the right size, location and quality that's fit for purpose. Advanced analytics is helping to reduce our impact by improving the efficiency of the built estate. My team is developing a decision support tool to allow key stakeholders to make evidence-based decisions when deciding how best to maintain their built estate. The model will take into account several data sources around the age, lifespan, current condition, the probability and consequence of failure, and more to help users decide whether to repair, replace, upgrade, demolish, or sell an asset. This in turn will help to improve the estate's efficiency, and along with it improve sustainability. For example, if a gas boiler is nearing the end of its lifespan and it's likely to fail, the model will enable users to assess the best solution, such as installing an air source heat pump which will be more sustainable over time. One of the team's key challenges is supporting Defence through analysis in relation to sustainability. More specifically, how we can improve the way Defence uses the estate to help become more sustainable. We can support this using geospatial analysis. For reference, geospatial data is information that describes objects, events, or other features with a location on or near the surface of the Earth. We performed analysis joining multiple datasets to establish the optimal locations for potential solar farms. We used a variety of geospatial information to identify potential sites for development across the Defence estate. In particular, we were interested in environmental and cultural designations, for example, sites of specific scientific interest, slopes and the direction of land, existing renewable energy developments, and MOD operational limitations. This allowed the customer to make evidence-based decisions on where to invest in solar farms to maximise impact on Defence's sustainability ambition. This isn't the end of the journey for analytics and sustainability. Working across Defence, we are striving to improve our information analysis continuously. This will lead to better decisions and a more sustainable estate.
Hi everyone, my name is Sarah. I've worked for DIO for around 4 years now, doing various roles. The work that I've got to actually experience over this 4 years includes analysing the data that belongs to the defence estates, looking at how the buildings work and how we can help them to work more effectively. It's sorting through some of the information that we have on our listed buildings. There's absolutely tons of them across the whole of the UK. And I've got to write reports on what this looks like, as well as those protected areas of land. I've helped with reporting on our government commitments that look at sustainability, and I've also helped to kickstart work on our innovation and how we move forward with our buildings in the future. Now, outside of DIO, my interests are a little bit different. I absolutely love biology, so biology, what you've been learning in school and beyond, hopefully. And then also I've got a really keen interest in anthropology. Now, for those of you that may not know what anthropology is, it's actually the study of society and how it's evolved over this time. And you can find out some really interesting things about society and how people have changed by analysing things such as their environment, the clothes that they wore and wear, and also even things that appear physically on the body. So how our teeth and our bones in particular have a chemical composition that allow us to tell us stories about their diet and how they lived and the environments in which they grew up in. It's a really great science. Having those skills and having those interests and actually working in DIO and MOD has really opened up some great opportunities that I could have only wished to be part of. I was actually invited to go and work with one of our friends within MOD, that's the RAF, and we looked at some uniforms together, looking to see where these uniforms dated back from and who they may have belonged to. And what was really useful was that we actually found that they were dated back from the World War II. Another event that I got to be part of was actually working with DIO's own archaeologists, looking at digs and actually being part of a dig to see if we could find any artefacts under the ground. Without those interests that I have outside of work, it's helped me to understand more about the MOD and how we work and how we are working to build a better estate for our military.
Hi everyone, my name's Ollie Howells. I'm an ecologist working at the Ministry of Defence. I've got an amazing job and I'm really pleased to be able to tell you a little bit about the type of work that I do. So firstly though, what's an ecologist? So ecology is a branch of environmental science. It's about studying the interaction between organisms, so plants and animals, and their environment. So for me at the MOD, that's about looking at how military activities, so things like firing tanks, flying helicopters, building and sailing ships, building new houses for servicemen, impacts on wildlife, and in some cases what we need to do to avoid, reduce or mitigate those impacts. So I've been at the MOD for nearly 20 years, which is a long time, but the MOD estate is an amazing place for wildlife. It's so big, it's so diverse, there's so much to do, so many different types of activities to look at. Actually 40% of the MOD estate is designated as what's called a site of special scientific interest. So that's a site which is important at a national level for wildlife. So the MOD estate is 1% of the whole of the UK, and 40% of that is designated as a site of special scientific interest. So that in itself just tells you how important the estate for wildlife is. So I thought I'd just give you one example perhaps of one of the things I've been working on lately, and that is a major army exercise. So it's taken place in Castle Martin Ranges in South Pembrokeshire in Wales. It's a big exercise. It involves firing lots of tanks and other types of weapon systems. We have a whole variety of wildlife there. One of the things we have is we have grey seals that come to the site, and they come to the little coves, the little rocky coves that are well hidden and people can't get to have their pups and nurse their young each year. in September, and that coincided when this big exercise was going to happen. And we were concerned about the impacts of all the additional noise from firing tanks and the AS-90, which is our biggest field gun, would have on the seals, and possibly that the mothers would be alarmed by the noise, and they might leave their pups and abandon their pups and cause them not to survive. So we did lots and lots of work. Other ecologists had done lots of surveys previously about where the seals were across the site. We looked at other studies which ecologists had done around the world looking at noise impacts on seals, and we did lots of modelling of the noise to try and work out exactly how loud it would be. After doing all that and pulling all that together and analysing that, we decided that we didn't think there would be an impact on the seals, but just in case, we decided to install some remote cameras so that we could watch the seals during the exercise, and if we thought there was a problem, then we could stop the exercise. Luckily, there wasn't an impact on the seals. We had a fascinating 4 weeks seeing how the seals behaved in response to some of the loud noise events. But none of the mothers left the beaches and all the seals were safe. So now we've got a fantastic, what we call body of evidence data that we can use if we want to do that exercise again. So that's just one example of the kind of things that I get involved in. I get involved in working in Belize and all parts of the UK, dealing with all sorts of wildlife, from otters to dormice to birds to jaguars in Belize. I'm lucky enough to go to Belize once in a while. So it's a really diverse job. I hope that's given you an insight into what it involves, and if you're interested in wildlife, then the MOD is a fantastic place to come and work.
So thanks very much for listening today. We really hope you enjoyed this, and we hope that you've got a good sense of the sort of work that goes on in the Defence Infrastructure Organisation. Make sure to go to our website if you want to see more about what we do as an organisation, see some blog posts from different people, and that will give you even more depth on top of what you've heard about today. Also, make sure to follow us on our various social media platforms, and yeah, we really hope we see some of you working in DIO in the future. So thanks very much.